Welcome, everyone. We are live. We are playing some Kaldheim commanders. We've got Esika, God of the Tree, but mostly we'll be playing Prismatic Bridge. Let's take a look at this opening hand. 4 lands, ramp. It's got ramp. Seems good to me. We'll keep that. So today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter and fellow opponent in the game with us today, 7 Deadly Sins. I asked Patreons for someone send me a list to play on stream. And this is what we got. So we're going to be playing some big dumb creatures. And by dumb, they're not really dumb. They're pretty scary, actually. So we've got Jin-Gitaxias. We've got Rhea Dawnbringer, one of my favorites. Got the good 10th edition art also. That's key. We've got Avacyn, Magmatic Force, also a favorite of mine. It's almost like I built the deck. I didn't, but it feels like it. These are cards that I would play. Sphinx of the Steelwind. There's a cool one you don't get to play a lot of. We got a Planeswalker, Nicole Bolas. We've got Koma, otherwise known as Jormungandr. Shieldred, Elish Norn, bunch of Praetors, big scary stuff, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, hey now. Chancellor of the Spires. At the beginning of the first upkeep, each opponent mills 7 cards. That's spicy. I love getting people with the first turn Chancellor of the Annex. It says each opponent has to pay 1 on the first spell that they cast, which means turn 1 Sol Ring is off the table unless you've got like Mana Crypt or Ancient Tomb or something like that. And you can actually slow a game down pretty good. The difference between having all that mana on turn 2 and having it on turn 3 does give you a much better opportunity to like get into the game before they start making all the crazy mana. So pretty cool. What up, Eric? What up, Self? Yeah, let's hit those thumbs up so we get promoted in the algorithm, and everyone comes and watches our fun Kaldheim stream with Esika, God of the Tree, and watch as we hit big dumb creatures that do crazy things. Another land. Not sure that we needed that, but I guess we play a Stomping Ground tapped, and we'll pass like that. Opponent gets themselves a Divining Top. Those are pretty good. Oh, look at that. Up to 11 likes already. You guys are awesome. Figuring out what to cut for those cards in Saskia? Yeah, the Saskia we played on stream last week. That deck is super cool. I am very excited to revisit that deck list. I don't know what we're cutting. So I don't have any personal attachment to, Lightning Skelemental. I know that Jim, the deck's creator, does. But I personally don't have any attachment to it. It's cool, kind of, but it's not my speed. So I would probably cut that personally, but I don't know. You can dig around, figure out what's not pulling its weight, get rid of that. We can talk about it offline at some point. You'd like to build God Tribal with the World Tree with Ramos at the helm? Yeah, do it up. God Tribal definitely going to get some help in this set. The one that puts all the gods into play, that's pretty wild. Because the hardest thing to do is just like cast all of the gods, and then even harder to like get them into creature form if you're trying to count devotion. Now, I don't know. I've faced God Tribal a number of times over the years, I would say. Maybe about 10 occasions that I kind of come to mind for me. And only in one of them have they really gotten going to the point where we realize, like, oh, we just can't stop this. They're all indestructible and just, like, don't have answers for this. And eventually you lose the game when that happens. But most of the other times, like, God Tribal just tends to be really slow. So if you have some sort of proactive game plan, you can often be faster than whatever the God Tribal deck is doing. Don't know if that's still going to be true with all the new stuff coming out, but in the past, that was certainly true. Nothing to do on turn 2. We just play this tap land? I think we just play this tap land. Play. Tap that out, and say go. Just ordered a Chuck E. Cheese pizza on DoorDash. Haven't had that in years. Oh, yeah. I haven't had that in decades. I think I would have been like in single-digit age range last time I had a Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Is it as good as I remember? Because, like, the thing is, everyone's like, Chuck E. Cheese pizza. You got to get Chuck E. Cheese pizza. But I haven't had it in at least 25 years at this point. So let me know how that is. I'm curious. Also, I'm from New York, so I'm going to be very particular about the pizza. Something we don't take for granted. Hasn't shown up yet. Keep us posted. Keep us posted on that pizza. Also, I didn't eat before this stream, so I am a little hungry, so you should probably share. Opponent gets themselves a Mana Vault, which take a look at what our opponents are playing, by the way. As mentioned, we are playing Esika, Prismatic Bridge, and we are facing off against Valki, God of Lies. Oh boy. We got Valki on one side. Let's give this the old read. Enters battlefield for each opponent, reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature card revealed this way until Valki leaves the battlefield. Wait, what? For each opponent, exile a creature card they revealed this way until Valki leaves the battlefield. Okay, you exile the creature from their hand if they reveal it. X, choose a creature card that's exiled with Valki with converted mana cost X. Valki becomes a copy of it. That's kind of cool. We'll finish doing that in a moment. Brings back to our turn. There's a Nightveil Spectre. Deals combat damage to a player. That player exiles the top card of their library. You may play lands and cast spells that are exiled with Nightveil Spectre. That's kind of cool, actually. Pretty sweet. Brings back to our turn. We can play a Cultivate. We should probably play a Cultivate. Godless Shrine. Untap. I suppose we could have went for something else there, but... Play the Cultivate. Oh, I don't even know what colors are important in this deck. Let's peek over here real quick. Triple green, triple red, triple white, double black, triple Abzan. Apparently we need everything. And apparently there's minimal basics in this deck. That might be something worth looking at. Well, I guess we're just going to get some of these basics then. Get a swamp, get a plains. Swamp into play tapped. Plains to hand. Does this make any color? Any color that an opponent's land can produce. There's the blue that we need. I think we can get 4 colors of mana. So this would be Esper. That would be red, green, and red. Gruul. Yeah, that's 5 colors if we play the Exotic Orchard on our turn. Might as well. Finish reading our opponent's stuff is a lot of words when they have 2 card sides on them. Backside is Tybalt Cosmic Imposter. 7 mana Planeswalker, 5 loyalty. As Tybalt enters the battlefield, you get an emblem with, you may play cards exiled with Tybalt Cosmic Imposter, and you may spend mana as over any color to cast those spells. +2, exile the top card of each player's library. -3, exile target artifact or enchantment. -8, exile all cards from graveyards, add 3 red mana. That's pretty cool, actually. I know a lot of people have been talking about them. Oh my god, so many things just happened while I was talking. I know a lot of people have been talking about them, but I haven't actually spent the time to read the card fully and digest everything that's going on. So we're gonna get a look at some new cards right here. So Tybalt into play. I didn't see how all of this happened, but there's also a Goldspan Dragon in play, and somewhere in there they stole our Soul Ring. So some things happened. That must have been the yeah, they must have gone with the +2 right there. Played the Soul Ring, and not entirely sure where all the mana came from, but somehow they figured it out. Seems good. Seems very good. What's my opinion on square versus regular New York? So I grew up in Troy, which is about 3 hours north of the city. And, even there, you just go to some random mom and pop pizza shop and it's almost always good. That's just kind of the way it is. So I never spent a lot of effort thinking about where I go for pizza, but there is one place in Troy it used to be called I Love New York Pizza. It's now called I Love Troy Pizza. I forget why that changed, but it's the type of place that is open until I think 4:30 in the morning, and it is about a block away from the bar that is also open till 4:30 in the morning. And something's happened real here. Interjecting the story. So, opponent attempting a Prismatic Bridge, and then a Tybalt's Trickery on the stack. And it looks like that's going to turn into a Path to Exile, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm reading this stack correctly. Or no, that path is in response to the Tybalt's Trickery. So Goldspan Dragon down, opponent gets a land. And now the Tybalt's Trickery turns the thingy into a Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus is pretty good at this, especially at this point in the game. That could be a lot worse. I would take a Gilded Lotus. Mana Vault. All the ramp this game. This is a hard ramp kind of game. Oh, they're playing the same deck as us. Haha. That explains a lot. They are the deck's creator, and we are playing the same list. It is a mirror match. Anyway, continuing my thoughts on the pizza, the important stuff. There's a place called I Love Troy Pizza, open till 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, something real late. I think they close for like 4 hours a day. I think they're closed between like 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. or something like that. And anyway, right near the bar, so, you finish your long night of drinking, you go get some pizza, and then you go to bed, and then you hate the fact that you stayed up till 4 in the morning drinking and eating pizza and feel completely terrible the next day. Unless you're young, and then it probably doesn't bother you as much. But that ship has sailed for me. So that's the place that I like near home, but there's also just like a bunch of other places that were very good. I did go to the city last winter and took a trip there with Veronica, my significant other, and we went to, I think it was a Joe's Pizza, is one of the famous places that's in right near Times Square. I think it's near Broadway and all that. So that was a big deal. That was really good. And randomly, another one that jumped out at me, and maybe it might be because I was like home visiting my parents, and then we took the drive to Cooperstown, where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. My dad and I are big baseball fans. Anyway, we're gonna try that exotic. Yeah, take our turn right here. Let's try this Prismatic Bridge. There's black, there's white, there's blue, there's a green, and there's a red. Prismatic Bridge. Looks like it might resolve unless someone has free counters. Anyway, we took a trip to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and across the street from the Baseball Hall of Fame is like some of the best pizza I've ever had. Place is very famous, and like a whole bunch of famous baseball players stopped in there because it's like right next to the Hall of Fame. And then, after you finish the ceremony stuff, you go get some pizza right there, and the guy's got pictures all over the wall of all the cool famous baseball players he met. But the crust there was incredible. Apparently they have like, I think they've won awards for like how they do their crust. I think they use a bunch of butter and do some other wackiness, and it's delicious. It is super delicious. I would go for some of that right now. Oh, it sounds so good. Let's drive to New York. Who wants to drive to New York right now? Anyway, back to the original question. Squares versus slices. A lot of the places near me at home were doing the square stuff. Like, you had to go to particular places to get the circle cut triangles. But I like the triangle. I like the circle cut pizza when I can get it. Because you can't get it everywhere. A lot of places just find it easier to cut into squares. So, it's a nice treat when you've got a circle cut pizza. Also, I'm not a thin crust guy. I'm a thick crust guy. I like the Sicilian. I like my pizza a little bit thicker. Am I making anyone else hungry? Is anyone else hungry now by my pizza rambling? You guys didn't know that when you clicked on this stream, you were going to get a tight 5 on the best pizza. Oh, man. What do I think is the best cards to come from Kaldheim? Doomscar, Pyre of Heroes, Orvar. There are a lot of really cool cards in this set. A lot of people have been like a little bit down on Kaldheim. Everyone's saying like, oh, it's kind of missing something, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. If you look at the cards individually, they're all really good. There's just a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, I'm a little sad the white stuff isn't as good as I would like. We didn't get the problem-solving white stuff that, either the ramp or the draw or the like proactive win conditions. We got better protection spells, a better hate bear, and a better equipment card, better equipment commander type thing. Some of that. We got a new Boros guy. Got to look at that at some point. So far, I've really liked Firja. By the way, I released 2 gameplays for Firja today. That was within like the last hour or two. So whenever you guys finish up the stream, check those out. There's some really cool games. Got to do some really cool stuff. I don't play a ton of Black-White these days, so got to use a lot of tools that not normally at my disposal and do some real wild stuff with the Maria Shepherd. So super exciting. Definitely go check those out. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of cards that I really like. The Pyre looks really cool for tribal decks. I mean, that thing's gonna be awesome. I played Teralf yesterday. I think Teralf is the most insane Magic card I've ever seen. The ability can re-trigger itself. So I played a Volcanic Offering with it in play. Killed a 1 toughness creature, got a damage trigger to do 6 damage to another creature. Killed that creature, which was like a 2/2, and then I got another damage trigger. Like, it keeps continuing until you run out of damage or you target a player. It's ridiculous. It turns like one big removal spell into a board wipe almost. Very crazy. I'm gonna pre-order a couple, and I never pre-order anything, so that tells you what I think of Teralf. I think it's an insane Magic card. The history of cards that trigger themselves are usually that they're incredibly powerful. Najeela is on that list. There's a handful of others that do it. But yeah, whenever a card triggers itself, usually really powerful. Brings us back to our turn. We get a Prismatic Bridge trigger. Yeah. Let's see what we get. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker. Put it onto the battlefield. The rest on the bottom in a random order. Spin that wheel. What are we getting? We are getting a Woodfall Primus. What do we need to blow up? We've got a Tibalt, and we've got a Prismatic Bridge, since I know it's... can this exile our thing? That can exile our thing. I guess we have to shoot that, because they would just exile our Woodfall Primus, and no one wants that. Deadly Rollick, they're going to exile it anyway. Sadness. Well, that sucks. Tibalt goes down. There's a land. What are we doing this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll be on 6 mana. So probably something like play this Bayou, play this Gilded Lotus. Does this do anything else? No, it just kind of sits there. Okay. Good to keep in mind. We've got 4 mana left. I think, yeah, so we can go this, play a Chromatic Lantern. Play Into the North. Get another land. Get blue, maybe? We got blue and green left. We'll get a blue. We ramped. We ramped pretty good. Pray for no Austere Command or Vandal Blast. That's what we're on right now. And there's got to be some creatures in here. Yeah, there's a Coma. Sorry. Shieldred. Oh, Shieldred's a good one. So next turn, if the bridge holds up, hopefully get the bridge trigger, then cast the Rhea. And hope that sticks. Seems like the plan. You guys like the food review? If you guys like the food review, hit that thumbs up button. Doing deep dish pizza for dinner. Oh man, jealous. So jealous. What does this commander do again? Yeah, let's take a look at it. So, I actually don't think I did an official read of our commander. So, Esika, God of the Tree. 3 mana, 1/4 on the front side. It's got Vigilance. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance, and tap to add 1 mana of any color. So, Cryptolith Rite for legendary creatures on the front side. And on the back side, Prismatic Bridge, 5-color enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or a planeswalker. Put it into play, rest on the bottom. Pretty good. Pretty good if you want to cheat big dumb things into play, which I do. Opponent shoots our Gilded Lotus with something. I didn't see what. Oh, with Tybalt? Wow. Kind of seems like a problem over there. Plopper bringing it with the Tybalt deck. Losing all of our stuff. Our final opponent, by the way, we have not introduced, is... Oh, just noticed that. Creautres playing Send Triplets, a absolutely gross commander. Just disgusting. I have faced Send Triplets for years. Like, I've seen that deck so many times, and I've only ever seen it work 2 or 3 times. Like, I've only ever seen that trigger go off 2 or 3 times, and when it does, it's just game breaking. So like the hit rate on that is like not low. It's pretty low. Everyone just like realizes that you have to immediately shoot this thing. But when it happens, and when it happens to you, it is the worst feeling imaginable. They play all the cards from your hand, basically. So it's even worse than discard. Like, you lose your lands, you lose whatever else you have, and you know what I mean? You're just out of resources at that point, and it, you know, and not only that, they have your stuff. So it just feels terrible to face that thing. So, you know, we'll want to try to keep that out of play if we can, but I don't know that we have a lot of options. Doesn't seem like there's a ton of removal. Opponent gets their own Woodfall Primus. I assume that was off the thing. Gets a Tendershoot Dryad, also very strong. Champ said ramp this turn. Yeah, I went on the ramp plan that turn. Lost some of it, but, you know, we got a land in there, too. Lands are usually pretty safe. Though I did play a Desolation Angel the other day. It was a good time. Confirmed, the Chuck E. Cheese pizza is really good. Now I'm jealous. Something's happening. I think we're getting attacked. Getting attacked by the might of this Dockside Extortionist. Opponent coming in for 1. Gonna get us. All the crazy new stuff in this pod? And one evil oldie? Yeah. Yeah. It is cool to look at new cards. They all feel very strong. They all feel really, really strong. Oh, I think someone asked me about the Rakdos God somewhere up above here. Your buddies were planning a pizza crawl through New York City before the pandemic? That sounds awesome. I can't eat a ton of pizza. I'm not one of those guys that likes, like, I need 6 slices of pizza. Like, no. Any more than 2, and I'm going to feel, like, pretty terrible afterwards, and let's go take a nap. Oh, any opinion on the new Goad Rakdos Demon? Yeah, it looks fun, honestly. Here, let me look it up. Scryfall. I'm on another screen, by the way. Looking for it. Looking for it. Can't remember his name. If I did, that would help a lot. Nope. Let's try a different website. Want to do some attacks. Nightveil Spectre into 7 Deadly. And Jarl of the Forsaken going on the attack. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. That was dealt damage this turn. Kind of limiting. Got Foretell, though. Foretell's exciting. Nightveil Spectre trigger. Do we get to know what it is? Was it the Rhea? I don't know what they exiled. Very confused. Looking for the Rakdos God. Looking for the Rakdos God. Where is he? Carter Doomscourge. Here, we'll bring this guy up. Over here. Do this real quick. Yeah, this guy looks pretty sweet. I am excited to try this out at some point. When it enters the battlefield, until your next turn, creatures your opponents attack each combat if able, and each player other than you. So goad, ETB goad. And whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I haven't sat down and thought exactly what you do with that yet, but it does look cool. I'm sure there's some fun stuff you can get up to. Does look very exciting, and if you kind of like that, just force everyone to attack style of play, group slug, I think is what the kids call it these days, then pretty cool commander. Looks like a lot of fun. Brings back to our turn. Prismatic Bridge. What's it gonna be? That's a Bolas Planeswalker. That one's pretty good. Gain control of target creature, you say. What are our choices? Havengul Lich, Jarl, Nightveil Spectre. Tender Shoot seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and take that. Gain control of target creature. Tender Shoot Dryad. Oh no, Teferi's Protection. Boo. Boo Teferi's Protection. Opponents are slightly low on cards, 3, 4, and 2, so I feel okay that Araya might survive back to our turn. Although, I don't know, do they just recast this thing again and exile it again? What's their mana situation? 4, that's tapped. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a little risky. This one's got pro red. Maybe we just play this thing instead. Let's just play this thing. Really, or do we risk it? Oh man, what do you guys think? Rhea or Sphinx? Waiting for the delay to the chat. Well, let's play land. We can definitely do that. Oh, is there a Scavenger Grounds? Who saw the Scavenger? Who said Scavenger Grounds? There is a Scavenger Grounds. You know what, though? If they try to use it... Pauper. Would Pauper do that? If they try to use it, that means they can't do something else. Like, they can't recast this. But if they just recast that, then they probably don't care anyway. I'm going to try Rhea. Here we go. Got a few votes for Rhea. Sounds good to me. Let's go. Hope for the best. I think that's what you do with this deck. You just slam bombs until something sticks, and hopefully things work out. Oh, man. After losing the Gilded Lotus, we're actually really tight on mana. Exactly 9. I guess 9 on turn 6 isn't too bad, but we did have much more than that a minute ago. Rhea into play. Hopefully it survives. I love Rhea. People are like, it's too slow. I'm like, yeah, but have you ever, like, had it on your upkeep? It basically wins you the game if your deck's built for it. Getting back some other big creature after losing it to, probably some removal spell changes the balance of a game quite a bit. I get it. It's expensive, but, oh, feels so good. Love this card. I have the promo 10th edition ones that are all nice and shiny. It's a different type of foiling, too. Whatever foiling they did for the promos for that set look really unique. The new Black God, Turgid, or whatever. Yeah, Turgid looks insane. That looks like a real feel-bad commander. Like, that looks like it's probably on par with Braids. I have some concerns about it. I haven't seen it yet, but, if someone said they were going to run a Turgid deck, I'm probably grabbing the literal strongest deck I have, which in my case, I have Winota, and I've got a Najeela that's, like, half built. The Najeela needs some help. I need to get some cards for it, but... someday it'll be a CDH deck. It's like built to be quote unquote CDH, but it's missing a lot of the good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, if they're playing that, like, until I know otherwise that it's not going to be insane, I think you just have to grab the most insane deck you have if you're playing against that. Or something that's really removal heavy. Most important archetype at the moment is Squirrel Tribal? Yes. Is there a legendary squirrel in this set? Is that a thing that exists? I haven't memorized all the cards yet. Legendary squirrel. There is, in fact, a legendary squirrel. Toski, Bearer of Secrets. 4 mana, indestructible, can't be countered. Attacks each combat if able. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's kind of strong. That draw a card for each creature thing is really powerful in Commander. I don't know if it's doing anything in the other formats, but... Oh, that's a Demonic Tutor. Those are good. Eric's hyped about Cardur, however it's pronounced. Yeah, it looks cool. Jack, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Morning, I assume you're somewhere else in the world, because it is now evening where I am. You can wild pair it. What are we talking about with a wild pair? I've been jumping around in the chat and not reading things in order. Genesis Chamber and Pyrohemia. Burn all the creatures during combat. That sounds like a good time. Working on a Turgid CEDH deck based on the modern 8-rack archetype. What could be more fun than facing that? Oh man, I played a game earlier. I was on stream with someone, and there was a Storm deck that took a literal 30-minute turn. I was pretty frustrated by the end of it. No more CDH for a little while. That's enough CDH for the week and probably the month. Just want to play my angels. Just want to drop all the angels. Have yet to achieve a Chromatron. That's still on the to-do list. With Search for Glory, the new tutor that lets you search for a legendary permanent, I think it is. A Chromatron should get easier to assemble. So, very excited about that. Might be looking at the Angel deck sooner or later. Oh, Cardur is for Wild Pair? Yeah, okay. Is that still up over here? No, we changed that. Opponent's doing stuff. It is indeed a total of 7. It can be got with Wild Pair. There you go. Oh no, someone shot our Prismatic Bridge. That's terrible. Why would they do that? They have left up Scavenger Ground mana. That is unfortunate. So they are choosing to play around the Rhea. It's not ideal. What do we have left? We can still gain control of a creature. We can destroy something, although they might just attack everything into Bolas. Recasting the Prismatic Bridge honestly feels a little bit slow. Oh, that's an Elesh Norn. We all die? It won't kill us, but it's going to be a problem for sure. KO's looking with the top. The alternate art for Cardur looks really cool. I'll have to check that one out. Oh boy, what did you join into? Well, we've got double Prismatic Bridge in the command zone. Ours and this deck list was created by 7 Deadly Sins, who's in the game playing their deck list also. So, mirror match. And it's just kind of slam bombs until something happens. And they are winning that race by a considerable margin. They currently have an Elesh Norn, a Tendershoot Dryad, and a bunch of tokens that are getting pumped up quite a bit, plus their bridge, and plus a Bolas Planeswalker. And they seem to be keen to take down our Bolas Planeswalker. But, oh, Ray has a 2/4 now. I was hoping to kill that thing. That's unfortunate. Anything we could kill? Doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. I guess we just block one. Nope, we don't want to do that. That will kill Rhea. Does it even matter? It's going to die either way. I'm not going to expose Rhea to something that could potentially go wrong. Yes, Seven and I are playing the same deck list. This is his deck list. He sent it to me just before we went on the stream. I was going to play something else, but I spent a lot of time getting the Firja videos up earlier, and I just didn't feel like trying to build a new deck from scratch. I was thinking about Teralf, but I honestly think it's too strong. I got a quick look at it yesterday when I was testing Aurelia, and it's the most insane card I've ever seen. So, yeah. Skip the Teralf, because I think it was kind of wild. Also, just the time it takes to kind of put a deck together. I wanted to get the stream up and going, so found this cool list, and I know a lot of people are excited about Prismatic Bridge, so that's what we're doing. Oh boy, a really good card was played. Good thing I can remove it, as the rest of the deck is literally all bombs. Yeah, I do like the drop bombs archetype. Okay, you killed that one. How about this one? Where they get you is when they have like a bunch of 1-mana removal and you can't, like, keep dumping stuff in at the rate that they can remove it. Deadly Rollick, where's it going? On the Elesh Norn, that is a great first step. How did that Deadly Rollick happen again? I missed that part. I'd really prefer if they like didn't do the thing. Oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Crap. Exile in the graveyards. No bueno. That's Spanish for no good. I mean, it sucks that we're not going to get anything with Rhea unless like some mill happens in the next before our upkeep. However, they did spend like time and energy having to play around that. Could be worse. Nice Orzhov content. You like the Orzhov content? Yeah, it's I don't know. I haven't played much Orzhov over the life of the channel. What are we on? I think we're in year 4. Is that where we're at? I started in January. Started on like January 4th. I think that was 2017. I think we're in the 4th year. I'm somewhere around 700 videos. I lost count. But, I haven't played a ton of Orzhov in that time, but 2 really cool Orzhov commanders in the last 2 sets. So definitely getting a nice spike in the Orzhov content if you're into that kind of thing. And I'm into Amaria Shepherd. Amaria Shepherd is definitely my thing. And it's been cool. Got to fool around with that today in today's video. Yeah, poor Rhea is all alone. It's not great, but, like I said, they did have to play around it. So it's something. They sacrificed the land. Lands are powerful, so, that land, giving up that land means it's harder to recast their commander, which has already been in and out of play a few times now, so, we are flooding kind of hard, though. Let's try to, I think we're trying to get this thing back into play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Definitely can't do both, but I think this is the better of the 2 things, although that's just a lot of creatures. Like, if they hit another big thing. This has got lifelink and pro green, which keeps us safe from a lot of stuff. Also pro red. Bolas is a real problem. Destroy non-creature permanent. They could just shoot our bridge. Eeh. Neither are great. Think this is the play that kind of gets us back into it more, but this play is safer, and that means we kind of hope for someone else to deal with this. I think I'm going to try the slightly safer line. It's the more conservative line. I would consider recasting the Prismatic Bridge the more greedy line right here. Because if we untap with it, cool stuff happens. I have a feeling that we're not going to untap with it based on what's on board. So Sphinx, I feel pretty decent about untapping with. If we don't, that means that someone probably played a board wipe, and that's okay too, because then we just cast the bridge next turn, and that should be fine. So kind of feeling out where this game is heading. Oh, they have any flyers? We can just send the Rhea in over there. Put it down to 2, although they might steal our Rhea. Wouldn't appreciate that. Hope Pauper or KO's found a wipe? Yeah. Hope Pauper just because he's before 7 deadly. But we can't attack this Bolas, so let's go ahead and do that. Make things a little less terrible for ourselves. What's this do once it's in play? Enters the battlefield, you may cast instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. So we must have already done that at some point. Oh, don't you even swords it. Dirty. Opponent's doing us dirty. They are drawing so much better than we are. We've hit like all lands. Down Rhea goes. At least we've got this Sphinx. Again, it's the relatively safe choice right there, so. Oh, gross. Stream deck teching? Yeah, I think we are. I think that's what we've been doing. I'll try to get the link to the deck list in a moment. It requires a great deal of multitasking to do that. It was an exile too. We can't even get the Rhea back. We've had so many things exiled this game. I don't know that I've had like this many big things exiled this early into a game. At least not in recent memory anyway. Crux of Fate. Destroy all non-dragons. There we go. Is ours a dragon? It's not. It's a Sphinx. Sadness. All the stuff going down. Shieldred went down too. That was our other reanimation. Eek. It's not going well. It's not going well at all. Felice is fun. Practically Anointed Procession in the command zone, uncommon from Legends. I've seen it once or twice, and it almost always gets to the token limit on MTGO, which is 200. So I have been meaning to check that one out at some point, and yeah, I can confirm that it is very ridiculous. Just gets out of hand with the tokens. Geode Golem, trample 5/3, deals combat damage to a player. You may cast your commander from the command zone without paying its mana cost. You know, I would settle for that right now. Awakening Zone. Your mission to convert me to the Orzhov Church is well on its way. Yeah, there's some cool stuff. Orzhov's gotten some cool new toys. A lot of life gain stuff coming out the past couple sets, which definitely is in the Orzhov wheelhouse. I've always been a little bit down on it too. Like, people used to ask me like what I thought the worst color pair was, and I was never sold on Orzhov just because, like, outside of, I don't know, 3 or 4 combos, never felt like there was that much going on in the colors. You know, it was kind of like, you can Karmic Guide, you can do an Aristocrats thing, you can do the Teysa combo, and then after that I was like, I don't know, what else does Orzhov really do? Nothing that really scares me, but they definitely gotten some help. I feel like color pairs that I don't see as much of anymore. I feel like I don't see a lot of Gruul. And, like, I know green's really good, but I'm going to pop this Gilded Lotus. All for that. Slow down that mana. But yeah, I just don't see that many Gruul decks. When I do, it's occasionally like a Rurik Thar deck to hate on combo players or something like that. And I know that it can be strong, but it just, I don't know, doesn't show up the same way that other things do. Maybe Gruul just needs like a really good commander to come out that gets people excited and does all that sort of stuff. Opinions on Orvar and making a twiddle deck. Let's look up Orvar. Orvar. 4 mana. Changeling. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token copy of one of those permanents. Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. So you play a twiddle, and then you copy, let's see, instant or sorcery spell if it targets one or more other permanents. Then you create a token that's a copy of those permanents. Seems ridiculous. Probably Storm's off. I mean, the most powerful version of whatever that is probably some sort of Storm deck. I'm sure there's like wacky things you can get up to too with that. I don't know. That's like a weird one for me to evaluate because like Storm and blue shenanigans, a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but it does look cool. Does look very breakable as a card. Looks like there's a lot of things you could probably combo with that. So, what's the emblem on board? Let's see. We got a couple emblems. We got 3 of these, which say you may play cards exile with Tibalt, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. We've got this emblem. That's a city's blessing, and that concludes the emblems. Speaking of emblems, what's the ultimate on this? Deals 7 damage to target player or planeswalker. That player discards 7 cards and sacrifices 7 permanents. What could be more fun than that? Also, they've got a Consecrated Sphinx and Shieldred in play. Yeah, they're just doing everything like way better than we're doing it. I don't know what we did wrong. Maybe we needed to keep a better hand. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been calling it a better Mistform. MTG Mudsta is the Mistform Ultimus guy, and last I saw, I don't think he was planning to change. Maybe he'll test out the new one, who knows. But I think he is, he's well set in his Mistform Ultimus ways, and yeah. There's always 2 schools of thought. There's the school of thought of like, try the new one just because it's new, get a feel for it. But then there's also the like, this is my deck. I've had this deck for a long time, and I like this deck. So, there's 2 ways to look at that. Based on what I do here on the channel, like I'm always kind of looking at the new stuff and then trying to make that decision in my head. Like, if I were building this in paper, would I be keeping the old one or would I be switching to the new one for a little while? And given how long it takes me to build paper decks, I don't always switch them just because it takes a long time to dig through all the cards. But we draw a Crush Contraband. I don't know if there's anything worth shooting in this moment. Oh, Prismatic Bridge is still in play. That's worth shooting. Yeah, maybe we'll shoot that. Can we do that and play this bridge all at the same time? Hopefully we can. Play this Plains. Play the Prismatic Bridge. Black, red, green. And 1, we have exactly enough. Cool. Prismatic Bridge, back to play. Unfortunately, they can just destroy it. Hopefully, someone wants to deal with the Bolas Planeswalker before that moment in time. Send a little message to Pauper, find out what he's planning to do. Because if he's getting the commander back to, like, do stuff that's good for us, then maybe we let that happen. Says not interested in attacking us. Fantastic. Oh, he's a God Pharaoh statue? Gross. Shieldred, Awakening Zone, Mana Crypt. Probably going to sacrifice that to the Shieldred because that one's not terribly impactful. Esper's your favorite shard? Esper is not one that I've played a lot of. I've played a little bit of Deck and Blackblade. Esper is another one that, like, if you're not comboing, I don't actually know what you do in Esper. I think you just, like, wipe the board a million times and make everyone hate you. Are there other things to be doing with Esper decks that aren't that? I know that my Deck and Blackblade deck, it was a Voltron deck. It was fine. It won a few games. It did not win consistently. 6 mana is a lot, it turns out. And that was like 5 years ago even, too. But it would be fun when I would put like Blackblade Reforged and have like a True Conviction. And I had this one game where I would attack someone, gain like, I don't know, 30 life with the lifelink, and then it was a 5-player game. Over the course of the next turn cycle, when it came back to me, I would lose that 30 life again. So kept kind of teetering that way for a while. I think I won that game. I don't remember, but took a while to cleave through everyone with a Deck and Blackblade and a Blackblade Reforged. Okay, I was going to let him hit with the commander. Yeah, we got to slow down. 7 deadly. Make a copy of a bunch of Lord creatures with Orvar? Yeah, that could be kind of wild. Hate seeing old favorites get overshadowed by new creatures that are just better. Yeah, it's the trade-off of, you know, when you want new exciting things, at some point old things will be lost, forgotten, shoved aside, you know. That's just kind of how it is. I definitely have an affinity for like the old school stuff too, you know. I'm actually going to be doing a podcast kind of talking about Commander now versus Commander like anywhere 5 to 10 years ago. You know, the all the old school stuff, and, you know, when Commander was a slow, grindy kind of thing. Now it's Commander's gotten pretty fast. Like, we started dropping bombs pretty early into this game. What, turn 5 or 6 or something like that? We got our first, probably even earlier, probably like turn 5 with the Prismatic Bridge. I think we ramped. So the game has gotten very quick. The things you can do are limited, but there's some good stuff in that too. One of the things, like, way back in the day is that when everyone was playing these kind of weaker decks and the game would go much longer, is that, like, where we are right now, we aren't really impacting the board that much. Like, we cast our thing again, but after that, if this goes down, like, we're going to be in a bad spot. In Commander now, it's easier to continuously impact the board. Even if you're low on cards, the cards you play are generally impactful. So, you know, having more powerful decks means you don't get stuck in this situation where you're just not doing anything for the last 4 turns of the game. And, you know, when you're going to like turn 15 in an old school game and you're just not doing much, it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great. And especially if, like, you know, if your opponents aren't playing quickly, then, you know, it might be 20 minutes before your turn comes back. It's not the best. Like, now, I do miss playing old school Commander like that, but it has, we kind of forget all the bad stuff about playing Commander back then. That's just kind of how things go over time. We should probably crush Contraband right now before. Did they ever get that God Pharaoh statue in? I hope they didn't, because if they did, this isn't going to work. But let us shoot this Gilded Lotus and this Prismatic Bridge. Down they go. Get rid of that mana. Get rid of the Prismatic Bridge. Slowing them down. Still a problem with that Bolas, though. I think it's going to ultimate. It's probably going to ultimate on us. Although, there's some things over here. Maybe they want to deal with that. Gruul doesn't have any good non-stacks commanders. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, there just needs to be, like, an exciting Gruul commander. I don't know what it needs to do, but I've definitely heard Gruul players kind of take some of the same punishment that Boros players have. Maybe not to the same extent, but definitely picked on at least a little bit. The way to stop that picking on is, what's that card? Subterranean Tremors? Run that card and then blow up all their creatures and all their artifacts. And you just ramp with lands, and then you laugh at them as you cast big things, and they cannot. Thran Dynamo, so much ramp. The ramp doesn't stop. Sky Shroud Claim, more ramp. Why is their deck doing everything better? Move to Detroit, they steal everything, even the arcs on pizza? Interesting. I've never been to Detroit. Your green-red deck added black for maximum carnage? Yeah. That sort of changes the equation a lot, though. Like, black has so much power. If you guys didn't listen to the podcast that I did this past week with Mono White Border, one of the things that I mentioned in there is just that, like, my first commander deck was a Shieldred deck in, like, 2011. And at that point in time, Mono Black had Reanimation, Creature Destruction, Tutors, Card Draw, and it's like, what else do you need? Like, what else does Mono Black actually need beside those things? So, like, you know, the cards you get in Mono Black are just, like, better versions of all that. And, yeah, I don't know. Mono Black just, like, has a lot of tools. So, I think one of the reasons I don't play it a lot on the channel, I don't play Black, is just because, like, with the tutors, especially having easy access to them on Magic Online, it makes it so easy to just do the same thing over and over again. Like, whatever the best card in your deck is, just like, oh, go get that. And tends to be a little bit strong, tends to be a little bit linear. Oh, no, they shut our Prismatic Bridge. Well, everything getting slowed down a bit here. Let's see. Opponent's got a Shieldred and a Rhea. That's pretty bad. If you're a Reanimator player, this is the dream. I used to be a Reanimator player. That's exactly what you want. Yeah, I guess we're probably going to have a pretty slow turn then. Maybe KO's going to fire some removal? Doesn't seem likely. I could play the Riftwing Cloudskate if that comes in. Nope, not this turn. You didn't even think about the Storm with Orvar? Yeah, I assume if you find, like, a multi-producing mana rock and then keep twiddling it, you'll keep getting more of them, and something crazy will happen. I don't know what you do with it, but somewhere, I don't know, you probably play something that untaps all of them. Dramatic Reversal. You play Dramatic Reversal with it. There you go. Figured it out. Got some disagreement about Twiddle being a bad card. Oh, in Garrick's Wake. Perfect. All creatures and planeswalkers are destroyed. KO cast that off of our deck with the Chaos Wand. That worked out. Send KO a little message. Love you, KO. Omnath is a good red-green commander. I've definitely lost to a lot of Omnath. Kogla comes in, fights a creature we don't control. Well, those are all gone. I don't know if we can cast both things, can we? Play the land. That's 7. That's going to be 6. Do we have 13? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nope, one short. One short. I'm going to try the Prismatic Bridge. Seems like the better of the two. Kogla seems better next turn when a creature will probably be in play. Recast the Prismatic Bridge. Kogla is a really strong Magic card. I definitely, like, did a double take when it came out. I'm like, wait, it destroys 3 permanent types and 2 of those are repeatable? It's a bit pushed. It's a bit pushed. KO, the hero we needed, but didn't deserve. Yeah, most definitely right there. Yep, that's all we got. Pass turn. At least it's an easy deck to play. Tap out, cast one thing, and then pass the turn, and then I can chat with you guys. The worst is when you get some deck that like requires you to be focused and you're trying to, do both. It's pretty tough. Pretty tough. KO is Bayo. Nice. No, it's not a minute behind. It's like 10 seconds behind. It just takes me a minute to get to the chat sometimes while I'm thinking and doing stuff. And I also go on long tangents. If I see a message that resonates with me, I'll go off on that for a little while. So it might take a few minutes to get through that. So eventually I try to work my way through everything. Maybe I miss a few here and there, but I do my best. Have I seen the new Godzilla King movie trailer? I have not. Maybe I have. I don't know. It all goes in one ear and out the other these days. Oh, what is this? Valky coming into play. Everyone reveals their hand. We reveal a Kogla. What's this do? Hopefully they don't have the mail. 1, 2, 3. Think we're safe. I think we can just come in and fight that next turn. Oh, maybe I did see that trailer. I think Godzilla vs. King Kong. I think I did. I saw the short one. I haven't seen like whatever the longer one is yet. Oh, it got exiled? No. Ah. The interaction in this game. What? Turn 9. We've got lands and a Prismatic Bridge. Hope the new Tybalt gets a bit of a fix since it can clog the board with emblems. Yeah, it appears to be doing that. There were definitely some problems as of yesterday, or whenever it came out, 2 days ago. You could not cast the backside of a commander from the command zone, but it seems that they have fixed that. So Prismatic Bridge working normally, thankfully. But there were definitely a lot of bugs that were reported, and I was checking their Twitter feed, and I think they've got a big patch planned for next week to kind of address a lot of the stuff. So I would really like to do QA for Magic Online. I don't know who I need to email my resume to. I've got QA experience, but I would really like to do QA for Magic Online. It's like, they released it, and then you're like, oh, can't cast the backside of the commander from the command zone. Awesome. Seems like a really easy thing to test. Oh, Magic Online. Eerie Ultimatum, I'm sure this is going to be good. Return any number of permanent cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. All of them? Return all of them? Is that what we see? Is that what we're getting? I think someone should have saved that scavenger ground. Rhea, Shieldred, Consecrated Sphinx, Tendershoot Dryad, Dockside Extortionist, Bolas. Was that one still in play? That one, I forget where that one went. Yeah, no, that got destroyed because of the Ingarrick's Wake. Other Bolas. Ew. So we're not going to have a Prismatic Bridge again. With that, man, I don't know. This is going to be hard to overcome. Like, without another in Garrick's Wake, I don't know how we get through that. Also, they've still got 6 cards in hand and everyone else is dry. So that's kind of a problem. This could be game. I mean, it'll take them a few turns to kill us, but like, I don't know that we can answer them any longer. Hopefully someone draws into something big. This isn't really a problem-solving type of deck. That's already gone. We'd have to find a way to recast that. I think our graveyard's in pretty bad shape. We have the eerie thing. Our thing is gone. Austere Command's in the deck. Doesn't deal with the Planeswalkers. The Planeswalkers are still a problem. There's a few board wipes. Still doesn't solve the Planeswalker issue. A creature board wipe would help, but 2 Bolas Planeswalkers is still a lot to overcome. Our Prismatic Bridge down. Yep. There we go. Never say GG until you're confirmed dead. I used to be that way, and there's 2 schools of thought. For me, like, especially if I'm like trying to film and stuff, I have limited hours in the day that I can film. So like if I'm dead, it's fine. Let's just go to the next game, especially if I'm like trying to get footage and stuff. But it's also like part of me is just like, time in general is limited. So, why spend, like, you can always just get another game in, like, right? If someone has it and like no one else can do anything, why, waste the time trying to fight back from essentially an unwinnable situation. The things we would need, like, we can't win this in a single card. There is no single card that either wins the game or solves the problem. I guess Rift is something. So, in that case, we could just start a new game. But the other part of it, when I was younger, I used to be the fight till you die kind of thing, and I've just played so much Magic over the years that I have a pretty good feel on what things you can get in at, what things you can get out of, and what things you can't. This is something that we can't really deal with on our own at the moment. And, for our sake here, like, I'd probably rather just try to get another game in instead of dragging the game out for another, 15 or 20 minutes or whatever, how long it goes to. Queen's Gambit has good lessons about conceding. I watched it, but I don't remember the part about conceding. Good show, though. I started playing chess for a minute after that show, because that's what you do after you watch that show. And then I realized I'm very bad at chess. Like, awful. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like there's a difference between like scooping when they have it or scooping just because you lost your thing. On MTGO, people scoop just because you blew their commander up one time, which is very different than like we're staring down this board state with no cards in hand. Our commander, or we basically can't keep our commander in play because of a planeswalker. They have repeatable removal, so like that's a little different. That's a little different. Thanks for showing the new stuff. You're very welcome. Farseek, big oof. They stole this from us too. Yeah, we needed that. We needed the card draw. He looked away for 2 minutes in that board state. Yeah, he played this Eerie Ultimatum. Essentially, return every card in your graveyard. It's more or less what it says. Skip your basics. Or skip, duplicates of the basics. All right, so if the worst should happen, and we can't answer our opponent's board state right here, should I run this deck back, or should I play something else? And then the question after that would be, you want to see something new? Right now, I've only got this and Firja out of Kaldheim. But I have updated Weapons of War with some Kaldheim stuff. It's got the Trickery and a few other things. It's got the gods in it. We got one vote for something new. big draw. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Need a big draw. Bow of Nylea is not it. Okay. Okay. So just to be clear, you want a different deck, not this deck again. How much to cast? Oh, that's a lot. That's 11. 1 vote for Weapons of War? A super chat will win it. If someone wants to super chat and tell me what to play, I'll play like basically any deck that I have put together. So that is on the table as well. I'll recast the bridge. See if opponent hits the top deck. If not, I think that's once they untap, I think it's GG. 1 mana left. Rhystic Study. Who's got the Rhystic Study? They have the Rhystic Study? Yeah, we'll pay for that. Oh, we got Nate with Kethis Spirits. Yeah. Okay. Nate wins it. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate you. You rock. We are going to play some Kethis Kamigawa Spirits. Yeah. Let me see if I got your deck list still. Hopefully I didn't lose it. If you wanted to resend it to me, that would be totally cool too. Checking my list of decks. Aha, I found it. Never mind, we're good. I have found the Kamigawa Spirits deck list. All right, we're going to load up game 2 here in a minute. We're going to play some Kamigawa Spirits. And going to get this deck loaded in, do a bunch of things. We will chit-chat in the meantime. Yeah, Prismatic Bridge is really good. We unfortunately couldn't keep ours in play. An opponent did, so they got to win. Also, that eerie whatchamacallit. Oops. Yeah, we can definitely concede now. I'm not multitasking at all. All right, game 2. Going to be game 2, dialing it back a little bit from this one. Dialing it back. Now we got to get that deck list imported. Go right here real quick. Go to this conversation. Download this deck. You guys get to see the whole process right here. So we download the deck. Save it into the deck lists folder. Go to Magic Online. Import the deck. Hope it doesn't give us a bunch of errors. Sometimes it does. Looks like it's going to be okay. Realize we have like none of the cards. The command zone do. Go buy some cards. Let's see. Then we do the thing. As soon as I find the deck list. There it is. Please don't be missing anything. Cool. The cards we're missing, 22 cents. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Kamigawa Spirits. We've got a deck. Next step is to make a game. Okay, that was a lot of multitasking. I am back. Your brother loves Boros and he lost all of his cards in your move? That sucks. Oh, wow, that sounds terrible. I feel really bad for him. Yeah, that's a bad feeling. I don't even know what I would do if I lost my collection. Periodically, I see Veronica leave something like near the stove, like a piece of paper or something. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's flammable. There's a lot of cards in this house. Can't be risking those. Get him an Anya? Oh, no, not Anya. Literally anyone except Anya. Anya is a Boros commander. I did a video like a week and a half ago calling it the worst Boros commander. I don't have anything like personally against Anya. I just like the art on the card is awesome. It's just like mechanically it's not a good card and it's very difficult to play. So I would recommend just about anything else over Anya instead, unless they are a glutton for punishment. So this deck list, Kethis Kamigawa Spirits by Nate, a Patreon supporter of mine who's in the chat with us right now. This is a cool deck. This has showed up on video before, and this will be showing up on video again somewhat soon. But this opening hand, unfortunately, is not great. So we are going to mulligan this into lands, Sylvan Library, Sun Titan, Signet. Yeah, feeling this. Nate, I'm going to need you to stay in here because I don't know all the combo lines, especially when we start dealing with these Iname cards. A buddy had 30k worth of commander decks stolen at a tournament he went to. Oh god. Oh, that makes me want to cry. I haven't done it yet, but we'll keep these. I do have some insurance on my Magic cards, and it's actually pretty easy. So, like, if you have renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, you can call your insurance agent or whatever website you use, and they will have some sort of extension on their policy that allows you to cover collectibles, because I used to work in the insurance industry. Collectibles on your normal homeowner's policy are only covered usually up to like $2,500, and anyone that's been playing Magic for a little while, their collection's probably going over that. So nothing to do in turn one. We'll just get a tap land. But it's very cheap to insure your Magic cards, and, you know, up to some fairly solid dollar limits. You know, it's maybe like $100 a year, something like that. But definitely check that out. You know, if tournaments resume and that's all back on the radar again, make sure we get the colors of mana we need. Make sure I don't mess this up while I'm talking. Get an Overgrown Tomb. But yeah, getting insurance on your stuff can help with that. Like, it doesn't stop the frustration of having it stolen, but at least you get a paycheck to like go buy your cards again. But the other thing I've thought about doing is, you know, if you've got like, if you're carrying multiple thousands of dollars in your backpack when you go to a tournament, how much can it be for like a GPS device that you just put in your bag? This is something I started looking into at one point. Since events have stopped, like, I probably don't need to do this right now, but like, I'm like, a GPS device that I could just like hide in my bag or hide in a box somewhere can't be that expensive, relative to what, you know, the Magic collection is. Like, basically, like, sell a Sword of Feast and Famine or something, and you know, use that to just get like a little bit of protection in place on your cards, because No one wants to lose their collection because that really sucks. I don't know what the circumstances of of your brother losing his collection, but if there was theft or if it was something that's covered by insurance, he still might be able to get like a $2,500 check or whatever. They have it's called a sublimit for collectibles. Is also, I don't know when that happened. The time frame. There's a limitation on the time frame for that sort of stuff, but something you can look into. Maybe it'll help a little. I don't know. But if he's still involved in the community, maybe some friends around him can send him some stuff. Because like people like me, if we've been playing forever, like I have 2 boxes of Commander staples at this point that or at least like old Commander staples stuff that I don't use as much anymore. It's all very playable. Like maybe it's not the newest best thing on the block, but they are cards that they ramp, they draw cards, they are removal. They worked at one point in this format, and they they would still work if you played them now. Maybe they're slower than the newest thing, but it's better than having nothing. So that brings back to our turn. We draw a land. What are we doing? Kind of awkward on stuff right here. Do we go Kethis first? So this makes our legendary spells cost less. Let's go for the Sylvan Library, I guess. Get this in. No, opponent's got feelings about that. Arcane Denial. At least we'll draw a couple cards without losing life. That's something. And then we'll play the Argul's Bloodfast. Got us. We get to draw with the Arcane Denial. We'll take 2. Land and a Signet. More ramp. Magic Card LoJack. That's what we need to do. We need to start the Magic Card LoJack company. Make GPS devices specifically for Magic cards. Jess, if you want to send me an email, my email is commanderreplay@gmail.com. Send me an email. I might be able to part with a few things that I've got lying around. So, like I said, I've definitely got some stuff that's like, especially older things that like you could still build a deck with them and at least get something going. So, get him a Winota. Yeah, Winota is a super easy commander to like build powerfully and cheaply. My $100 budget Winota list is like too strong for a lot of tables. No combos, just spirits and value. Oh, does this one not have the land destruction combo that you always get us with? Assassin Trophy. Nice piece of removal. Brings it back to our turn. What are we doing? We could be on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana is where we can be. I guess play the Woodland Cemetery. Play Arcane Signet. Play Kethis. Argul's Bloodfast is a card that I always underrate. It's always better than I think it is. I gotta play it more. It's good to have people send me lists like this, forcing me to play cards that I don't usually use. It's kind of like Greed, but it's got some other text on it too, so all very relevant. Grand Melee. All creatures attack each combat if able, and all creatures block each combat if able. Awesome. Just what I was hoping for. What are our opponents even playing? Oh, there's a Cardor Doomscourge. Yeah, we got a new one in the house. We are going to be goated. EC Tyrant of Gyre Strait being piloted by Mango. And finally, Drawn of the Last Blood Chief, one that I've been wanting to play, being piloted by a Champion of Thune. Got some cool stuff floating around in this game. Got some new things. Growth Spiral for opponent. Pretty good card. Delay is a pretty solid counter. It shows up in CEDH a lot because, like, usually the game doesn't go long enough for, you know, the card to ever make it into play. Thespian Stage going to become a copy of the Volrath Stronghold. Seems solid. Argyl's Bloodfast doesn't have the awesome artwork of the guy eating money, so it's clearly strictly worse. I do like Greed. I just like Greed as a card. I don't know why. Maybe it's the flavor. Maybe it's the 1 black mana. I don't know. You know, though, these flip lands look awesome. Like, I love the backside of these flip lands. They did a really nice job with that cycle. Burn a Shard for opponent. Wish your computer weren't brick so you could get into MTGO? Yeah. Computers are expensive. What do you get out of them now? You get like maybe 5 years out of a computer, and then it's kind of... They usually go bye-bye. That's a Feast of Famine for our opponent. Those are good. Might have to shoot that. Do we have any legendary stuff? This is legendary. We'll get some cost reduction there. What does this one do? When it dies, you may exile it. Return any number of spirits. There's a spirit. Pretty serious spirit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god, we could cast it. All right, let's take a vote. Are we using the Myojin to exile everyone's hand? Submit your votes now. In the meantime, we will play a land. Make sure we have triple black to do it. 1 black, 2 black, 3 black. Yep, we've got triple black. That's 2 votes for do it. If we do it, though, we are probably going to have to take this Feast and Famine hit. Execute Operation Top Deck. All right. Blame Nate. Cast the Myojin of the Night's Reach. This is, in fact, a Kamigawa Spirit. Opponent's going to crack their Burnish Heart right now. Triggers the Blood Artist. Yep. We're going to get shot with the Blood Artist. Rightfully so. I'm just going to do it now. I know we could wait till, like, the upkeep or the draw step or whenever, but this is already bad enough, so. There it goes. Send a message to our opponents. Top deck mode engaged. If we weren't the arch enemy, we most definitely are. Attack this one. Mind Slicer approves? Yeah, I bet it does. Mind Slicer is a super nasty card. I like with Myojin, there's not really any playing around the Myojin. You're just like, well, this just happens now. Mind Slicer, like, is even worse because you try to play around it for a minute or two until they find a sack outlet. And you're just like, all right, I've got to try to not kill it and do all this stuff. And then it's just even more stressful. Also, it comes down way earlier, usually. Lannery Storm for opponent. You won a game drawing what you needed off of an Arcane's Annihil trigger? Nice. All the mono black players in the chat loving the Myojin of Night's Reach. Discard the hands. My first commander deck was super nasty. It was a Shielder deck, and I had like Mind Twist and what is it, Monomnia and Mind Sludge and all that stuff in the deck. And then I cast it against a person, and these were like 1v1s, and I felt so bad after. They were playing like Innistrad Vampires draft leftovers, and I'm just like, oh god, I Mind Twisted them for like 4. I felt so bad. I still feel bad about it. That was 9 or 10 years ago. I've gotten less nasty since then. But yeah, no, those were tournaments for store credit, and I was definitely that player that would do anything for $5 of store credit. I've gotten better since then, but you know, at the time, gotta lay it all on the line for that $5 of store credit. Who cares if everyone else has a terrible time? I actually enjoy what I do now much more than that. It was very stressful, kind of being in that competitive grind, because I used to play like competitive standard and stuff, and yeah, it's a lot. It's always a lot on your mind. Now I prefer to just like slam big things and watch silly things happen. Blame you. I didn't tell you to cast the Myojin. It's in your deck, man. I play the cards as they're dealt to me. That's what I do. If it's in the hand, we gotta use it. Scavenging Ooze. Shut off those graveyards. Play the Makokoro. Play the Sun Titan. She might be able to play multiple things this turn if I use my mana in a smart way. Let's see. We'll figure this out eventually. Use the colorless lands like a professional. And we do need to use the Arcane Signet. And we'll have exactly enough for an Assassin's Trophy. Probably want to hold that up. Oh, they're going to Soul Guide Lantern. Bummer. No land for us. Do some attacking. You want to know who's in a really good spot here? Easy, because to the point where like we should probably shoot it. This is an onboard draw effect, and onboard draw effects are very good against mass discard. So, you know, now that no one has cards, the next thing you want to do is draw cards. This draws cards. But I am worried about Drana coming in with... oh, that doesn't have haste. I thought that one had haste. I'm going to hold my removal for a minute, though. Your first commander deck was Big Amara Tandra's Tokens. Amara is a pretty strong commander. I still get a little scared when I see it across the table. You know that there's just going to be like tokens everywhere on like turn 3. It's like, well, there's a lot of creatures in play. This is kind of a thing. Yeah, I'm not saying like my first Shielder deck was good, but it was definitely nasty. Like if I just hit if I hit a Mana Rock into a Mind Twist, that's a really bad time for opponents. Opponent doing some attacking. Lannery Storm with a Skull Clamp on it. Also very good against what we're doing. I guess we take the damage. Oh, we have to block. Yep. We are forced to block. So block we will. Champ says he even made the mean value play like Nate does, except Nate does it to win. Opponent shot us with the Blood Artist. Even though we're in a good spot, like a big draw from our opponents, or like repeated action with the Skull Clamp, could get them to a place where they overpower us. What up, Banana? Champ with the sass. Oh, that's no mercy. Oh, man, I haven't seen this one in forever. Whenever a creature deals damage to you, destroy it. Yeah, that's a fun card. Dread, the creature version of that card, a card that I like a lot that I don't get to use much anymore. Yeah, there's the draw we're talking about. So hits the land. Let's see what they get next. Get a card back. Someone asked me a few weeks ago on stream like what I thought was better, discard or mill as a strategy. And discard, while it can be powerful, the second someone has like a green card that just repeatedly draws, you can get out of discard. Discarding doesn't mean you just win the game. Sure, it can be a powerful tool, but there are still plenty of other things that need to happen. And if opponent plays like, I don't know, Sky Shroud Claim, it's going to be a lot of card draw, and then they're going to be right back in it. As much as I don't love these type of like everyone discards their hand type cards, they are relevant. Like if there's been a blue player at the table that's got a million cards with Ristic Study, basically any player that drew 20 cards and you're like, that's a really big problem. Having an effect like this shuts that off. I'm not saying you should do it everywhere. We probably shouldn't have done it in this game. But, when you get to those situations where like, oh, this Consecrated Sphinx has been going around the table a few times, let's get rid of all those cards. Now at 8 mana, it's hard to get in there, and if you're talking about a blue deck, it's probably going to eat a counterspell, but just like that, the sense of that effect can be very helpful if you're dealing with someone whose threats are in their hand, and that's typically like a blue control deck, some sort of combo deck. In chat, quote, if someone has a green effect that repeatedly draws, literally all the green effects, opponent's gonna Skull Clamp a Stitcher Supplier. This can trigger Blood Artist and the Supplier. Black Silver Bullets against blue is targeted hand disruption. Yeah, Thoughtseize is probably better most of the time. If you like Thoughtseize their piece of card draw out of their hand, you're probably going to slow them down a whole bunch and keep them from getting out of hand for at least a while. You have a little time before things get crazy. Myojin is a bad card. It's just very on theme for this deck, Nate says. I don't want to call it a bad card. It's definitely a powerful card. 8 mana means it's limited in the roles that you can use it in. Like, you can't play this in CEDH because it's obviously just too expensive. But, if you have a way to ramp really hard or cheat it in a way where you still get the counter, which I guess is just ramping it. But, something, if you get it into play, like we got it into play quickly, it's a powerful tool. I guess the one people use, Sire of Insanity. Sire of Insanity is the card you play that's like more efficiently costed version of this card that is also continuous, so it's kind of nasty. Got a Skull Clamp on a Burnished Heart. I love doing that. And Feast and Famine on a Doom Whisperer. All seems like good stuff. Going to activate the Argyles Bloodfast. Arguls Bloodfast. Draw a card. Lose some life. Bring on the Spirits. Whenever you cast a spirit or arcane spell, target opponent exiles a card from their hand. Who hurt you, Nate? Man, this deck, what? What's this one do? Enters the battlefield with 8 counters on it. If it would be dealt damage, prevent it, remove that many counters, and create that many 1/1 spirits. Sacrifice a spirits, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. We'll do that instead. I don't think we need to blast our opponent's hands any more than we already have. It's going to cost 7. No lands in our graveyard, unfortunately. Graveyard's got exiled. It's a Kamigawa Spirit. I was picking the bottom of the barrel. Oh, man. No, there's a No Mercy over there. We don't want to mess with that. I guess we attack into Mango, because, yeah. Oh, we're going to get whacked by this Feast and Famine next turn. New shirt idea. Who hurt you, Nate? Love it. I've been thinking about doing some shirts. That's on the back burner. I gotta put that to the front burner and actually make that happen. Soon. All very soon. Pass like that. Read the bones. Opponent drawing some cards. Man, I was in a Sire of Insanity lock one time. This was like tier 2, tier 2.5 CEDH. Like, not the top tier stuff, but definitely still like very strong turn 6 kind of decks. And someone had a Sire of Insanity lock. I think it was a Lord Windgrace deck that was like also mass land destruction. Super nasty. But I had the old Akiri Bruce list, and I got Akiri in with the Umezawa's Jit, and eventually, through a number of turns of attacking and no one having cards in hand, was able to kill the Sire of Insanity and like eventually take over the game, which was super cool. But I played a Wheel of Fortune with Sire of Insanity in play, which is still crazy because like at the end step they still discard, so you get 7, your opponents do not get 7, and that was pretty cool. Banana, shirt idea. Teferi's Protection. Never didn't have it. Instead of shirts, do pajamas? We could. Who still wears pajamas? Verdant Sun's Avatar. Gain some life. Back up to 25. Because they're PJs. I have heard that joke at some point in my life. I had an old coworker that used to exclusively call me pajamas. She was allowed to do it. You guys are not. Oh, right. Sire of Insanity makes everyone discard. So, like, you get the 7 and you get to play the cards out of it, and then everyone discards, right? So, it still helps you a lot more than it helps everyone else. AC going on the attack. Tyrant of Gyre Strait. Teferi brand condoms with an image of Niambi, the red slash circle through her. What? I don't even know. You guys are wild. Makes me think of the merchandising scene in Spaceballs. Merchandising, merchandising, merchandising. Spaceballs flamethrower? Palace Siege for opponent. What are we on? We're on the return stuff from the graveyard one? Yeah, that seems good. Oh, there's some nasty stuff in there too. Massacre Worm? Ooh. Yeah, he's got stuff. I don't think this is going to work, but... Champ, want to be friends? He's probably just going to come in with a sword and... what's the offer? Got an Assassin's Trophy. So my first name is Peter. You will never guess my middle name, though. Champ says I've got his attention. Removal spells are fun. Having instant speed removal, not that we have the mana for it, but just having removal allows you to bargain. So next time you're at a table, don't just like rush your removal out there. Like, have a conversation about it. Like, hey now, I know you want to do this thing, but like, do you really want to do that thing? And sometimes they'll still want to do the thing. There are a lot of reasons that they may just want to whack us with this Doom Whisperer and this Feast and Famine. But, you know. Peter the Boros Peter? That's a good one. Jorge? Jebediah? Jethro? All the J names? Joshua? No, it's none of those. Gigolo? Skull Clamp on the thing. It's huge. 9/7. With trample. Welcome, intro. What's happening is I played this Myojin of Night's Reach. By the way, I'm playing Nate's deck. He gave us this lovely deck list to play. It's Kethis Kamigawa Spirits. So we played a Myojin of Night's Reach, made opponents discard their hands on, like, I don't know, turn 6, roughly. It's now turn 8, and we have not made friends. We have not made friends by making everyone discard their hand. I sent Champ an offer to not whack us with this Doom Whisperer, but I have a feeling we're still going to get whacked with the Doom Whisperer. Whip of Erebos. Yeah, put some lifelink in that. Also, they can get another thing back. What do they have in their graveyard? Necropolis region. Oh, they could make that huge. There's a Massacre Worm. Never know when you're going to need one of those. And there's a Kalitas. Yep, mono black, good stuff. I've been wanting to play this deck. This is a sweet list. I'm going to have to get the list from Champ. Coming our way? No. It is going straight face first into this No Mercy, though. But it'll probably be worth it. So this will die. He'll draw 2 cards. He'll untap his lands. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Skull Clamp, Feast and Famine. Up to 3 cards in hand. Ooh, Yawgmoth. Ew. I regret making alliances with Champ. And then he puts a Feast and Famine on it for good measure. I regret everything I did. And then a Skull Clamp on it, just to be safe. Maybe we'll want to think about that Scavenging Ooze next turn. Wouldn't mind drawing a card or two also. Azusa. Azusa requires lands. We don't have lands. It is only 2 mana to cast, though, so that's something. Let's activate this thing one time. Eternal Witness, not helpful with no graveyard. So, I guess we play Scavenging Ooze. Want to leave up some green mana so we can exile things. That doesn't have flying. Oh, the No Mercy. The No Mercy's gross. They must attack, huh? Maybe we should have just shot that so we didn't have to, like, attack. I feel bad. I'm holding back. We could be nastier in this game, and I haven't gone that route with it. What do we do? Do we just, like, take them and lose all our stuff? That doesn't seem like a great idea. How much is Winota? Not expensive. I think $5 or less, I think. Anyone know? Anyone know the cost of Winota? Oh, God. Figuring out this attack. One into Mango. I guess he can just block right here with the Feast and Famine, and that'll be fine. One right there. No Mercy. Gross. Say sorry to Mango. Send in the attack. Opponent's going to block. Yeah, they're going to kill our commander. That's fine. It's going to die no matter which direction it goes. They're going to block our big spirit thing with Yawgmoth. Oh, they're going to triple block it. I guess we attempt to kill the Creautres. Get rid of this graveyard exile stuff. So down they go. We kill the Creautres. We lose our Seki, but and it does get exiled, but we do get 8 1/1s, and those are cool. Ooh, and they're colorless? Are those where'd our guy go? Yeah, those are colorless spirits. Really helpful for Sword of Feast and Famine. Let's see. Yeah, we can like draw a card and then Assassin's Trophy something. Seems good to me. Pass turn. Yeah, Seki's pretty cool, man. It dies, get a bunch of spirits. Why not? Opponent's going to Hey Now. Hey Now. What don't we want coming back? Probably a Massacre Worm. Definitely don't want a Massacre Worm coming back. He's going to attempt to do it again. What else don't we want coming back? Got one from Massacre Worm. Creautres Regent, also pretty good. Doom Whisperer, also pretty good. Kalitas, pretty good. I'm going to go for the Necropolis Regent. Ask Champ if we're still friends. Oh, what up? We got Kristen in the house. Only playing Boros breaks the mold. Yep. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play. Unpopular opinion. You think Azusa is overrated. She needs either a card draw or fetch, and she ends up in your hand doing nothing. Yeah, I tend to prefer Oracle of Moldiah over Azusa if money and copies of cards are no object for that reason. But Azusa is still really powerful. Like, if you get it in your opener with a bunch of lands, it's just really good. You get some sort of repeatable draw that's also, like, pretty serious. So, you know, not saying don't play it, but definitely it has card advantage issues, but if you solve the card advantage issue, it can be a very powerful card. Has PJ ever played Black-White Clerics? Negative, I have not. Azusa is also from Kamigawa, so on theme. Indeed it is. Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Discard the Azusa, I guess. Seems like the one we need the least. There's a Ghost Council of Orzava. It's a legendary spirit. Oh, what's today? Today's the 29th? Kristen, there's a long story, but on February 1st, we will be able to enjoy that Cadbury. That's 2 days. I think there's 31 days in this month, right? That is 1 or 2 days away. February 1st. Mike, finally caught a live stream? Welcome. I have upset everyone at the table by playing a Myojin of Night's Reach and making them discard their hands. I blame Nate, whose deck list it is. But I think our opponents blame me. So that's where we're at. Kristen, did you see the Calling All Ameria Shepherds episode that came out earlier today? Always out here blaming the Abzan guy. Yeah, when in doubt, blame Nate. Love you, Nate. There's Cardor. Oh, God. We are goated. I guess we were already goated, but now we're double goated. And when when things die, it seems bad. Azusa is worth it in any land matters deck. Yeah, I mean, it's the second you get card draw going. Where to go? There's Azusa. The second you get card draw going, Azusa is ridiculous. But it will empty out your hand of all your lands very quickly. And then sometimes, I know what they're talking about. Sometimes you draw it late and it just doesn't do anything. Like, for a deck like this deck isn't, like, built to just super abuse Azusa. It's in here because it's on theme. It's a good value piece, but, you know, lands matter. If you're playing, like, Lord Windgrace or something, yeah, it's going to be ridiculous in Lord Windgrace, but she isn't that great in Gruul. Yeah, it just depends on what your card draw looks like. If you have a lot of card draw, she's very good. You know, if you have a deck that can, like, I don't know, if you can Rich Card's expertise for, like, 6 or more out of the command zone, like if your commander has 6 or more, then I think Azusa gains a lot of value. Angry on that, disagrees. Opponent coming in our way. Yeah, I think we will. Oh, do we have to block with everything? Man, we got to just shoot that Grand Melee. All creatures block each combat if able. guess we're blocking with everything. Let's see if they let the Scavenging Ooze survive, because the Scavenging Ooze is good against Champ. I don't know. I can't tell completely if we're the arch enemy or not. I don't know. Maybe we are. Kristen says, sometimes I wonder how Amaria Shepherd got printed. Like, how did they ever decide it should be a white card? It's bonkers, and I love it. I know, it's so good. It's like the best piece of white reanimation ever printed. And according to the new school train of thought, probably will be the best piece of white reanimation printed for a very long time, until people change their mind about certain things on how the color pie should be handled. Nate says we're absolutely the arch enemy. You're playing a Nate deck? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Amaria in the command zone talk dirty to me. Yeah, imagine if it was legendary. Like, the biggest problem with Amaria Shepherd is that there's not a great way to tutor for it in white. Unfortunately, the days of using planar bridge are over. Decks are too fast now. Amaria Shepherd is Watsy's reasoning as to why no more good white cards need to be printed. Yep. They did it. They they printed the last good white card. 2015 or whenever that was. God, is it that old? 6 years? That card's that old. Unless she got reprinted, I thought Amaria Shepherd was getting up around $2, but if there was like a reprint and mystery boosters or one of those weird sets, then it may have come down. Palace Siege getting a. I think that was the Kalitas, but I didn't quite see it. Yeah, in a white-black deck, you just use the black tutors to go grab Amaria Shepherd, and that's glorious. It's when you're playing like Boros or Mono White that none of that stuff exists, so. Yep, there's the Kalitas. It's a pretty good one. How am I feeling on Furja? I like Furja a lot. Is it better than Liesa? Liesa is different. Furja is really good for like filling up your graveyard. Also, it's just card advantage. Every time you cast 2 spells, you get another card in hand. So that's cool. Liesa just makes everyone die really fast, which is also kind of cool. So it depends on what you're after. Don't love this. So Noxious Gear Hulk on the Sun Titan. I had plans for that Sun Titan. It'll get exiled if we don't shoot the Kalitas. I guess we let it go. I know we could like shoot the thing and protect it and do all that stuff, but the fact that we don't have much of a graveyard really going, I don't know if it's worth it. The warm smell of Kalitas rising up through the air. Living it up. Living it up at the Hotel California. BFZ and ZR. Uh-oh, that's a Tevish set. Sure, I'm not going to like this. Yeah, that was very sad. Especially after I had already, like... I sent a message to someone saying I was doomed to film games that I wouldn't be able to use. It happened multiple times in a day. Trying to negative our Scavenger Ooze. Yeah, that's probably going to happen. That one's probably going to happen. Mango's ready to give it up. Said swing at him. I don't actually know. We're probably just going to like die to stuff. I don't think we're going to win either. I think Champ's going to win. He's got too much stuff. Grand Melee. No mercy. What? Fortunately, there are 2 games with Firja. Champ slowly plotting our demise. Isn't Magic a book series? There is a series of books. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm not talking to you, Siri. Totally not spying on us at all. My phone is on my desk. That's what I get. The second game came out about 35 to 40 minutes after the first one. Took me a little while to upload the second one. So they didn't come out at exactly the same time. But there are 2. Are they good? I don't know. I haven't read them. The Professor probably has some reviews on all the old Magic books. I feel like that's a thing he would review. Kristen, does the Professor have reviews on all the old Magic books? When am I going to do a Lyra deck with the new Angel support? Oh, I don't even know. Just send me your Lyra deck. You've been on top of that, right? I don't know when I'll get to play it. Maybe on stream or something at some point, but certainly feel free to send it. A good black-white deck for Clerics is Athreos, Veil Shroud. Is that the new one or the old one? That's the old one, right? I think God of Passage. No, that's the new one. I think the old one was... What, God of Passage? That's the old one. Veil Shroud, probably the new one. You run Shadowborn Apostles and Demons? Yeah, that's fun. There's that one Cleric. It's at a morning... I think it's Morningtide. It's one of the Lorwyn sets. That prevents damage to you equal to the number of clerics you control. That card looks really cool. I want to get wild with that card at some point because I love just not taking damage. Like putting Pariah Shield and Indestructible on a creature is one of my favorite things to do. And the second you do it, just everyone wants to blow it up. That's a Grave Titan. Oh, there's so much stuff over there. We're in such big trouble. I hope Nate put some board wipes in this deck. Otherwise, we're going to be having a bad time. The Professor has only reviewed the newer books. Ask at Max Makes Magic on Twitter. He owns all the books. Save a couple and is questing for the final few. Well, that's fun. Oh no, Dreadhorde General. That's a good card. Is there Cabal Coffers over here? How does he have mana for all this stuff? Why does he have so many lands? Turn 9. Oh, right. Multiple Burnished Hearts. Multiple Burnished Hearts. Pretty good. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. It's going to be 2 spirits from us. This is where you want a Mob Rule. Mob Rule is the ultimate card to deal with stuff like this. Sadly, not in our colors. Got the Cleric that makes other Clerics cost a white and a black less. Yep, it's pretty sweet. Cost reduction is cool. I rank cost reduction as slightly less powerful than mana doubling usually. There are a few decks like Storm decks and things like that that can really take advantage of cost reduction. But like in the average deck, you know, people know to shoot mana doublers because things get wild, but they don't always know to shoot the cost reducer. And the cost reducer is like almost as good as the mana doubler. I've definitely let a few too many survive myself. He gets to draw more cards. Yep. We are staring down an unfriendly board state. Come on, board wipe. What does this do? At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more cards in hand than each opponent, you may sacrifice Swamp. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is not what we're looking for. You feel like cost reduction in Firja is better? Yeah, I mean, cost reduction is good for that deck. 5 mana commander, you can usually get it in, what, turn 4? Pearl Medallion is also very good. Sadly, the Medallion cycle hasn't been reprinted in a long time. They've all gotten like kind of expensive. At least last I looked, unless I lost track of something somewhere along the way. That the mystery boosters stuff really kind of like that kind of snuck in there, and it was hard for me to keep track of what actually got reprinted. I think let's see how many board wipes are in this deck. There's a Wrath of God. There's a Toxic Deluge. There's a Teferis. There's a Living Death. There's a couple. It's probably worth spending a turn to draw a card. Or spending a little mana anyway. Oh, there's a thingy in play. Draw a card. Command Tower. Play a Command Tower. Let's draw another card. What are we at? 27? Oh, there's a Westvale Abbey in play. I should have left that Strip Mine untapped. Obsidat. Well, that's not great. Hope opponents have a board wipe, I think is the plan. Which one's which? That's the 4-mana one. This is the one they lose 2 life. What dies, we get spirits from our graveyard to our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total mana left. Yeah, I don't know if anything we do matters. Guess I'm just gonna shoot the Grand Melee and keep our blockers. Try not to die, I think is the plan we're on. Mango wants me to end him. Strategically, we should leave up the blockers, but unless someone plays a board wipe, it's not going to matter anyway. So that's where we are. There's 8. Oh, wait. Oh, we're still goated. Oh. No blockers for us. Well, that was a waste of removal. Again, probably not going to matter unless board wipes, but... Yeah, the medallions are all like kind of at least 10, if not like teens. Some of them were scraping up around 20. I think like black and green were around 20 last I looked. So down Mango goes. We'll pass the turn. Hope for the best. One of my buddies, Austin, Commander 99, he had a Kethis deck that ran like all of the monuments from Amonkhet, and like even the off-color ones. Oh, there's a Damnation. How about that? Board wipe. Oh, Champ's going to get a bunch of... Is it non-token? I think it's non-token. Non-token, cool. So we'll just get 1. It's not too bad. But yeah, he ran all the cost reducers, and like you can do some wild stuff when you have, you know, 3 or 4 cost reduction on all of your things. Have I played against Hull Breacher or Opposition Agent so far? I played CEDH today, and there was definitely a Hull Breacher, and it was definitely a problem. Someone else had a Narset for a while. They killed that Narset. They probably shouldn't have, because if an opponent has a Narset, and then there's a Hull Breacher, like I think that's going to keep everyone in a stalemate where like no one's actually going to attempt the wheel. But yeah, a Hull Breacher... Oh, yep. Don't pay attention to that. Hull Breacher is the most insane thing I've ever seen. It's probably ban-worthy, in my opinion. I'm not saying it needs to be like right away, but you know, after it's like not a new shiny card, let a couple sets pass, I'd be totally fine if the RC said let's get rid of Hull Breacher. Opposition Agent, I think I've played one time, and it was also equally insane. And if someone wanted to ban that, I would not be sad at all. The two best hate bears that exist are not white. Kind of annoying. What up, MTG Rider? Speaking of wheels, do you think it is worth running Magda for the tutor effect? Sacrifice 5 treasures in a Smothering Tides wheels deck? Probably. Well, I guess it depends on what you're doing. I don't know that I would run it like specifically as a tutor. It depends on what the plan is. Like if you're just playing an aggressive deck, I probably wouldn't. But if you're doing some deck that's like based around Smothering Tithe being in play, I might consider it. You know, like for a lot of the decks I run, Smothering Tithe isn't the main thing. It's just it's a means to an end. Like it's, you know, it gives you the mana to do the other stuff. Where if you're playing a deck that like is the Smothering Tithe deck, then I'd probably run it. Because I'd probably also want like Brass's Bounty and anything else that makes treasures. Basically a Nahiri Ultimate. I don't even know what the Nahiri Ultimate does. Shows you the last time I've ulted a Nahiri. I think never. I don't think I've ever ulted a Nahiri. Also depends on which Nahiri you're talking about, but it doesn't matter because I don't think I've ulted them. I think I did the Harbinger once and got a Gisela and then immediately lost the game. Because combo decks. Champ has a lot of lands. He's going to be able to rebuild so much better than us. That's a Sir Conrad. Seems nasty. Could have swore there was a creature in our graveyard a second ago. Don't know where that went. Well, maybe if we wait 5 years. Noxious Gear Hulk on this Falconwrath Noble. Yeah, Falconwrath Noble's pretty good. Cool, I'll send you a message. Thank you for stopping by, Kristen. We'll chat. White needs a lot of things. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh, that's a No Mercy. That's fun. Whenever creature deals damage, you destroy it. Good times. How did that happen? Very confused. Something to do damage? Oh, Sir Conrad does damage. Nice. No Mercy kills Sir Conrad. Love it. Love it. Oh, we're still so screwed when things happen when it comes back to our turn, but one little moment of glory right there. Sir Conrad dies to No Mercy. Sunbreacher Agent, oh yeah. Yeah, I mean there's any number of designs you could do on a white Hull Breacher, but I've kind of got to the point where like it's almost like it doesn't matter what you design on a white card. Like even if it's perfectly in pie, is powerful, makes sense, all the stuff, someone will just tell you no. Like, nope, we don't do that. Why? Because we don't do that. But why? Because we said so. Okay. Feed the Swarm. Oh, destroying the No Mercy. It had a good run. It killed a lot of creatures. Feast and Famine. Who does he want to go after? Oh, he's going to whip something. What's he getting? Grave Titan. That's a pretty good one to whip. Whip it. Whip it good. Opponent going on the attack. Yep. Who's getting the Feast and Famine? We getting the Feast and Famine? We deserve the Feast and Famine. We are not getting the Feast and Famine, probably because we're holding up some mana. He may think that we have something. We don't. We don't. We've got a handful of spirits. We need another board wipe. The first one wasn't good enough. White needs more permanent recursion like Sun Titan. Yeah, more cards like Sun Titan, please. I think one of the things with Sun Titan is that it's repeatable, like because it does it on attack. Also, most of the white cards aren't that good. They don't continuously happen like that, except for Amaria Shepherd, which is ridiculous. By the way, for those that weren't here at the beginning, I posted 2 games with Firja, Judge of Valor, and when this stream is over, I recommend going to check those out because I did some wild stuff with Amaria Shepherd in Game 2. What's a good commander for Angels, Demons, Dragons? Kalia of the Vast. That is your Angels, Demons, Dragons commander. It's a little glassy. It's not my favorite. It's kind of an all-in deck that, like, you either like have a million things in play and kill the table, or you do absolute nothing because everyone hates facing Kalia and shoots her a million times. So, generally, I would say pick one of those tribes and then like kind of build around that, and you can build a more like well-balanced deck that is able to, work through a lot of game situations. And Atla's a good one. Atla is a very good big creature deck. It's way less glassy than the other ones too. I don't know how much Kali is. It was expensive at one point in time. It did get reprinted though. I don't know how many times it got reprinted. Thieving Amalgam. Each opponent, you manifest the top card of that player's library. Okay. It's Utopia Sprawl. Do I think we're going to get another turn in this game? Who knows? Cast some Obzidats, I guess. Let's do that. White. Get a black right here. 1, 2, and I think we can cast exactly this one. We'll have Champ lose 1 life. Play Obzidat. Oh, we don't have enough white for that one. Bummer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enchant a Forest. We'll just put that on there, I guess. Choosing white. So we go white, black, black. Oh, now we might be able to do it. Make black, white, black, white, colorless. Got there. How about that? Utopia Sprawl. Underrated card. Super good. Get Champ for 2. Yeah, we'll exile this thing. Have it do its thing. Does opponent have another board wipe? If not, we are probably going to die. Looking up the price of Kalia, that's what I was doing. Kalia of the Vast was in Double Masters, so it has probably come down. $12. Not as bad as it was. It was like $35 at one point. I'd probably steer you in the Atla direction, honestly. I think Atla is cheaper, and I think it's more consistent. Kalia has some real weird deck building issues, because you have to run a lot of creatures, where Atla, you can kind of pick the number you want and make sure you have the ramp and removal you need, so you have a nice, well-balanced deck, even though you have a bunch of big, fun creatures in the deck. Jeff says, Atla deck is a Dragons deck and was cheap from the pre-con plus like a $60 upgrade. Yeah, you can spend just like a little bit upgrading the Atla pre-con, or you can even just like build it from scratch. And on $100 or less, you could build a pretty sweet Atla deck. Would it be easy to build Angels or Demons or Dragons? There's no Demons in Atla, but you'll be able to build Angels and Dragons. Those are both on color for Atla. Westvale Abbey. Yep. Yep. Drawing a bunch of cards. What year was Atla? Atla was Commander 2019. For dragons, if you just want to go for a straight dragon deck, they mentioned Lathliss. I do like Lathliss as a straight dragon deck also. It's easy to build, very straightforward. You don't have to spend a lot on the mana base, which I really like. It's mono red, so red's also been getting a lot of help the past 2 years, so lots of good red cards. Mirror Entity is a demon for Atla. It sure is. I hope Champ can finish it here. Not. Oh, we got a super chat. Patrick Janes. Here because we're playing Akuda Born of Chad. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Akuda Born of Ash. That looks like an autocorrect issue. Unless Chad is a thing. Is Chad a thing that I don't know about? What are the kids doing these days? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is the Kethis Kamigawa Legendary. Oh, I messed up the order of those words. Kethis Legendary Kamigawa Spirits deck. And we'll be seeing more of this one in the future. Nate is a Patreon supporter. So there's a video on the schedule for this one as well. Hopefully we do a little better than we did here. I mentioned it earlier in the stream that like mono black is just kind of like good and very linear in the sense that like you just tutor for the thing you need when you need it. And that's kind of what's happening here. This is just like mono black having all the tools, able to escape what we were doing earlier. And we didn't put the nail in the coffin with our spirit power. So, yeah. They have now clawed their way back into this game and are ready to exact vengeance on us for making them discard their hand. He's milling us with Conrad. Yep. How many legal? Oh, that's a 9/7. Oh yeah, I think he's got easy. Everything our way. No chances. No chances. That one's got menace. Can't block that one. 9. Yeah, we'll just block a 2/2. Take that. He's always been one of your faves. Been playing since OG Mirrodin. He hasn't aged well. No, he hasn't aged well at all. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more cards in hand than each opponent, you may sacrifice a swamp. If you do, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. 10 years ago, that would be like a pretty cool commander. Now, as you point out, it has not aged well. Down we go. Champ's at 109. Pauper is at 7. Yep, sweet deck. I want to play that deck. I want to play the Drana deck. All bark, no bite. We made him discard the hand and then didn't have a lot to follow it up with. I've noticed that too, is that if you play the everyone discards their hand type card, then if you do something that makes the entire table turn on you, like it's really hard to deal with that, and that's what happened to us. So Champ taking this one down, Pauper scooping right there. I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Thank you guys so much for joining. Be sure to check out the Firja gameplay videos I just released today if you want to see some new Kaldheim action. Gonna have plenty of Kaldheim videos coming over the next week. Be sure to check me out on Twitter and Patreon, patreon.com/commanderreplay. And I think that's it. So thank you guys for joining, and I hope you guys have a good night.